Tuesday Night Touchdown Podcast with your hosts, Reese Downing and Jacob Workman.
What's going on, guys? It is TNT Tuesday Night Touchdown Podcast, NFL Edition, Week 5 picks. With me, as always, is the fine citizen, Mr. Jacob Downing. Good Lord.
That's I became family.
Yeah, well, you are family, but Mr. Jacob Workman. Workman, what's going on, brother? How are you?
Everything's good. The Guardians of Believeland had a huge 8th inning today to put us at 1-1. I'm pretty excited for tomorrow for Game 3. And an improbable comeback. Unfortunately, it's kind of weird because when I go on Twitter, obviously like 90% of my Twitter is Detroit stuff because of the Lions. So after Game 1, I was pretty pissed off seeing it repeatedly. But yeah, that's good. The Lions seem to be pretty fucking good. So see what happens.
Yeah, not missing Benedict too much there.
Nope.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's roll right into it. Week 4 results. I finished at 7-9, hit my lock, missed my dog. Jake went 9-7. He hit both his lock and his dog last week. So good job there, Mr. Workman. Results from week 4. Seattle Seahawks beat the Arizona Cardinals 23-20. Steelers beat the Vikes 24-21. Falcons beat the Commanders 34-27. Giants beat the Chargers 21-18. We're going to talk about that game here in just a minute. The Texans blanked the Titans 26-0. Brian Callahan's seat's got to be getting a little warm there. Eagles beat the Bucks 31-25. Patriots beat the Panthers 42-13. Buffalo beat New Orleans 31-19. Jake's Lions beat the Browns 34-10. Jags beat the Niners 26-21. Rams beat the Colts 27-20. We'll talk about that game here shortly as well. Bears beat the Raiders 25-24. Chiefs beat the Ravens 37-20. I don't know what's going on in Baltimore. Kansas City woke up a little bit. Obviously, having Xavier Worthy back helped them just a tad. The Dallas Cowboys tied the Green Bay Packers 40-40. That was a crazy game. Miami Dolphins beat the New York Jets 27-21, and the Denver Broncos beat the hell out of the Cincinnati Bengals 28-3. The Bills and the Eagles are now, I believe, the only 2 undefeated teams remaining in the NFL. So had quite a bit happen in week 4. I was talking to Jake before we started here. We try to give you guys plays of the week every week. Man, it was not easy to narrow down the plays of the week this week. There were a ton of really crazy things that happened. We're going to jump into plays in the week here in just a bit, but first let's jump into the Giants-Chargers game. So the Giants beat the Chargers at East Rutherford 21-18. Jackson Dart's first start, 13-20 for 111 yards and a touchdown, along with 10 carries for 54 yards and a score. Justin Herbert finished 23-41 for 203 with 1 touchdown and 2 picks to go along with 1 carry for 24 yards. New York's offense and team overall looked a lot more energized in Dart's first game. While Dart didn't light up the stat sheet, he did keep the Chargers defense on its toes due to his mobility. And he did well getting the ball out quickly as well. He didn't turn the ball over at all. That performance, coupled with the Giants defense coming up with some huge plays that included a big game from Andrew Phillips, had an interception. He also held 7 targets to just 2 catches, 6+ quarterback pressures, each from Abdul Carter, Brian Burns, and Kayvon Thibodeau. Got Dable and the Giants their first win of the year. They did get some bad news on Monday. It does look like they've lost Malik Neighbors to a torn ACL for the rest of the season. So that vaults, I believe Darius Slayton is now going to be wide receiver 1. They've got Wan'Dale Robinson. Scatterboo obviously is a big weapon there. Before we jump into thoughts on the game here, there's a couple things we want to show you guys. First and foremost, I just talked a little bit about how this team just has kind of a different energy around them. Let's take a look at the post after the game from Jackson Dart.
Big Blue. What's going on, Big Blue? Hey. It's 4-4-6 in a trap. Big Dubs.
Appreciate you guys for the support. Blue, wasn't easy, wasn't clean. Found a way to win the game and pull out a big dub. So appreciate you guys for your support. On to the next week.
So I was a huge fan of Jackson Dart playing at Ole Miss. I also kind of laughed at the fact that I think Dart was kind of walking away from Scatterboo before he said something that he didn't want him to say on the video. Scatterboo cracks me up. But they obviously are very pumped. They've got some young guys to build around. They've got a couple really solid dudes on defense. And then we've got this Jim from the one and only Jameis Winston, who posted this after the win, eating dubs. Jake, Giants get their first win of the season, 21-18. What were your thoughts on the matchup, and what do you think the Giants are going to do here over the course of the next few weeks with these young guys?
Yeah, I mean, it's nice to see the offensive difference with Dart in there. His mobility, I mean, he can, as you saw in the first touchdown run he had, I mean, he's got the wheels. He still got speed for in the NFL. And then obviously the different, man, that Giants defensive line, man, I've been saying they're hell. I mean, they're great defensive line, and they were all over Herbert. Brian Burns was all over him. He threw 2 picks. The pressure was definitely getting to him. Overall, I mean, is it the rookie boost in the one game of greatness, or will it be something that continues? It's something that we'll have to watch out for. But I do think obviously the neighbor's ACL injury is terrible. That's the last thing that they need for a rookie quarterback. But we'll see how they keep going. I think thankfully we can say that they do have another week of kind of a shittier opponent with the Saints before their schedule does get very tough after this week. So I think this week it might be okay, even though it'll be his first road game, and see how the neighbor's injury affects it. But after this week, I think it's probably going to go downhill.
Yeah, I think it's going to be tough sledding for them this year for sure. But I think at a minimum, it's provided definitely a boost in the locker room, probably with Dart in that first win, especially against a team like the Chargers, because the Chargers are a tough team to beat.
Yeah.
Obviously, a cross country road trip for them makes things a little bit more difficult, especially with the time frame and when that game got played. But still a big win for the Giants. I'm going to be interested to see. There's a couple of teams out there, Bengals, the Saints, who they're playing this week, who are in desperate need for a quarterback. At what point in time do teams start calling the Giants to try to get Russell Wilson or Jameis? I mean, seeing Jameis back in a Saints uniform, I think would be a lot of fun. But they've got 2 other quarterbacks that seemingly are not going to see the field unless Dart somehow gets injured or just completely flips on its head and turns to shit, which I don't necessarily see happening. So. Giants have an opportunity to maybe pick up a draft pick or something, or maybe pick up another receiver to kind of fill that Neighbors void a little bit. Obviously, replacing Malik Neighbors is going to be practically impossible, but they're going to need help in the receiver room. Darius Slayton, Wan'Dale Robinson, they've got a couple guys there, but not anything like the speed and complexity that Neighbors brings to the game. So we'll see what happens with the Giants. Let's move on to the next game here. We want to talk about the Rams-Colts game. The Los Angeles Rams beat the Indianapolis Colts 27-20. Stafford finished 29-41 for 375 yards and 3 touchdowns. Danny Dimes, 24-33 for 262, 1 touchdown and 2 picks. Stafford and Puka Nacua tore the Colts secondary apart. Puka finished with 13 catches, a career high 170 yards and a touchdown. He had 7 catches for 112 in the first half alone. Cameron Curl had a big game, finishing with 2 interceptions, one of which was game clinching in the final minute of the game. But honestly, I think the story of this one is the Colts really beat themselves in this. Adonai Mitchell was personally liable for 2 touchdowns coming off the board for the Colts. We're not going to show the replay, but the first, he had an insane catch early in the third, which is what should have been a touchdown. But he dropped the ball at the half-yard line, fumbled it into the end zone, and it turned into a touchback. Stop celebrating before you cross the goal line. I don't know how many times that has to happen to players before they decide to get over the end zone first. Then with just over 2 minutes left in the game, tied at 20, Jonathan Taylor had a 53-yard touchdown run, but that got called back because Mitchell got flagged for a hold. In addition to that, 11 penalties and 2 interceptions from Danny Dimes. I think the Colts had an opportunity to continue to stay undefeated. They really shot themselves in the foot in this one. That said, we've got one of our favorite players in the NFL, Matthew Stafford. We've got a nice little clip here to show you guys based on one of the touchdown passes that he threw.
Don't look at me! Don't look at me! Don't look at me! See ya! See ya!
Just insane throw from Stafford. You kind of get used to it at some point just because he does it every week, it seems like.
It's incredible.
Yeah. Jake, what were your thoughts on the Rams-Colts game?
Yeah, I mean, it was huge. Tutu getting the big play at the end. He's kind of been in a little bit of a slump, so it was nice to get him out of it. Puka is just ridiculous. I mean, a huge game in the middle of the game. He left injured and came back and still dominated even more. He's actually, I think I saw he was on pace right now. So Stafford was the quarterback for the 2 highest yard production receivers in NFL history with Calvin and Kupp in their 2 seasons. And right now, Puka is on pace to beat that record. So Stafford again with a 3rd receiver potentially going for a record. Curl, huge defensive plays by him. The Colts played well, but the Mitchell, geez, that drop, you can't drop the ball early going into the end zone. Like, that's huge.
Yeah.
And then my guy, Jared Verse, obviously, I love what he's doing. Overall, just, I mean, I like the Rams in this game. There's one thing I'm going to say, too. We talk a lot of shit kind of about SoFi. I think things are starting to change there. The Chargers have had pretty good home field crowds. The Rams had a huge crowd, and it was actually like loud and for them. It's things you don't see. Now, I think Thursday night might be a little different because the 49ers typically do travel well to LA.
Proximity, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know if them being shitty this year will change that because it could possibly be more of a Rams home game finally. So I'm interested to see how that looks, even though the Amazon audio in the crowd is probably the worst of any broadcast in history, but that's a different discussion. But the Rams are, I mean, they are what they are. The Colts, no discredit to them. I mean, they easily could have won that game. They're still a very good team. Stafford's just Stafford. Like he has the ball at the end of the game. I trust him 100% of the time.
Yeah, 100%. Absolutely. All right. Well, let's keep things moving here. We've got some news to roll through. Then we'll go through injuries and then hit you guys with a couple plays of the week. First and foremost, Bad Bunny has been announced as the performer for the Super Bowl 60 halftime show. A lot of people are pissed off about Bad Bunny, complaining about who he is and the music that he plays. And it's just hilarious because if you look at the past, I don't know how many Super Bowl halftime shows, none of those dudes are from the United States. Bad Bunny is actually a U.S. citizen. We'll leave that there. This isn't a political podcast, but good grief, people. The Dallas Cowboys, first in the NFL on offense, 32nd in the NFL on defense through 4 weeks. Welcome to my nightmare. With a third quarter interception, TJ Watt became one of 7 players in NFL history with at least 100 sacks and 8 interceptions. The Detroit Lions' Aiden Hutchinson now has 32.5 career sacks, most of any Lions player through their first 4 seasons.
Oh my God. Did you see Ford Field, man? I thought it happened again. He went down and it did not look good.
Yeah.
Like everyone's you
hear pin drop. Yeah.
The assholes were expanded beyond belief. It was not looking good. And then he popped up like the Superman that he is and returned, and it was a great game. So thankfully he's fine because my God, that was the biggest scare ever for just like last year. We blew out the Cowboys. He got hurt and we're blowing out the Browns. I'm like, no, this can't happen again.
Yeah. Yeah. And a bad time in a spot where he doesn't need to be on the field necessarily, but yeah. It's still early in the season, so I understand it. The Texans are the first team since the 1974 Dallas Cowboys to have a losing record through the first 4 games of the season, despite allowing less than 13 points a game. Drake May has a 75+% completion and 2+ touchdown passes in each of his last 3 games. Only Tom Brady has had a longer streak in a single season. Jalen Hurts had 0 passing yards in the second half of their win over Tampa, becoming the first quarterback to win a game with 8 or more passing attempts and 0 passing yards in the second half since Carolina Panthers great Jake Delhomme in Week 10 of the 2008 season. Jacksonville Jaguars are one of 3 teams in the last 30 years with 3 or more takeaways and fewer than 400 yards allowed in each of their first 4 games. A little bit of a surprise to see what that Jags defense has looked like so far. Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes became the fastest player in NFL history to 250 passing touchdowns on Sunday in their win against the Ravens. And finally, the Cleveland Browns have benched Joe Flacco. We are going to see Dylan Gabriel under center to get the start at quarterback versus the Vikings in London. Not going to touch base on the whole Shedeur stuff. I think the video that I watched, the guy that was interviewing him was trying to bait him into saying something and he was just smiling and being quiet. Like, what do you expect the dude to say? I think Dylan Gabriel should be he's the second string guy. Shedeur's the third. There's a reason for that, but what do you want Shedeur to say? I just much to do about nothing. I was watching the ESPN broadcast earlier today and they were going off about it and it was just shaking my head. Quick injury news. We already talked about Malik Neighbors. He's out for the year with the torn ACL. If you're watching that Miami game on Monday night, unfortunately, Tyreek Hill had a really gruesome injury. He's going to be out for the foreseeable future. He dislocated knee, multiple torn ligaments. Ravens quarterback Lamar Jackson questionable for Week 5 with a hamstring injury, while the team also lost Nnamdi Madubuike for the season with a neck injury. Chargers left tackle Joe Alt has a high ankle sprain. He's expected to be out for several weeks. Cardinals lost another running back, Trey Benson. He's going on IR for at least the next 4 games. That's a big blow. They already lost James Conner. And finally, this came out, I think, earlier today. Brock Purdy, Juwan Jennings, and Ricky Pearsall are all going to be out versus the Rams. So it's going to be tough sledding for the Niners when they travel to LA on Thursday. All right, let's jump into some quick plays of the week here. The first thing we're going to take a look at is a sack on CJ Stroud.
Watch 98. Watch how quick he is off the snap. He is gone. I think they were trying to wham him with those.
That's one of those in Madden / college football video game plays where you're like, you've got to be kidding me. The center's asleep. That was a hell of a move, but frustrating. Next up, we're going to watch the New Orleans Saints on how not to do the Philly special. And then we're going to play another clip after that. I want you guys to pay attention to Dorian Williams just laying the wood on Brandon Cooks. You're going to see it in both clips, but the second one's going to be a little easier to clear up.
Shaheed back to Olave, throwing to Rattler, picked off! Cole Bishop on the return and knocked out of bounds. They tried a Philly special.
That clip ends quickly, but Brandon Cooks gets absolutely demolished by Dorian Williams in that play. Next up, let's take a look at a nice catch by Ricky Pearsall in the Niners game.
As well. And Ricky Pearsall one-on-one. You saw him run the
Fire the pass, building contact, defense, number 30. Penalties decline. All the plays are first down.
Well, he ran through the contact. We saw him early.
Nice little one-handed grab there. We just talked about this guy, Jared Verse, Jake's boy from Florida State. Let's take a look at him just absolutely rolling over the Colts center.
Different things. Jared Verse is off the line. He's a stack linebacker. Times it. It's just not really fair for Tanner Bortolini right there. I mean, he's snapping the ball. He's looking to his left. He looks up.
God,
I wish he could have got the sack on that one. That would have been awesome.
Yeah, Danny got laid out anyway. That was a rough one. Next, this play, like, I woke my baby up screaming at this one. Dak rolls out and throws a catch to Jalen. Is that you, Tolbert? And you see the
Prescott gets away. Parsons chasing him. Puts it up for grabs. Coming back is Tolbert. Did he keep his feet in? Yes, he did.
back foot throw overtime. That was a hell of a play.
That was a great catch too.
Yeah, both great throw, and Dak's been playing well so far this year. Last thing we're going to show here is a play from Tua, a little Tua flip action. Definitely has got a little bit of a Detroit Lions feel. Let's just say that.
It's a tough matchup for the nickel against Waddle. Little trickery, flipped it behind the back to Washington. Tua with some flash there. The behind the back flip to Washington.
Hey, this is the magic, though. This is a little bit of the vibes, at least, of the past, where we've seen a lot of the cool ball handling. This is pretty good by Tua now. I mean, there's a ball fake, a flip underneath, a rotating. That's
was that in your repertoire as a quarterback?
God, no. But that's that 2023 Tua right there. That's pretty sweet.
Perfect on that, huh?
That's pretty sweet, man.
What they need to do now is make this pay off, right? The thing that really is making this.
Fowler ever watched Dano play? Christ, that was definitely not in his repertoire. He fucking ran out the back of the end zone.
Yeah. I will say I like Dano and Schrager on the broadcast.
Yeah, Dano's okay. On the broadcast, he's fine. His takes sometimes are just so absurd.
Yeah, notwithstanding all the get up shit that he does. Him analyzing the game live, I really enjoyed that. That's a good add-on. All right, guys, that's plays of the week for us. Let's jump into our picks for week 5. First up for the Thursday night game, we have the San Francisco 49ers at the Los Angeles Rams. Thursday, 8:15 p.m. kickoff at SoFi Stadium on Amazon Prime. Over-under is 45.5. The Rams are favored by 7.
Yeah, give me the Rams minus the 7. I like them to keep rolling. The Niners have so many injuries. Purdy's not playing. I just don't think they're going to have enough to stay with the Rams the way that they're rolling right now. So I'm on them minus 7.
Yeah, not anything else here to really add to that. I am also going to go with the Rams. The Niners are just too injured right now. We have another early matchup this Sunday. We have the Minnesota Vikings versus the Cleveland Browns, Sunday, 9:30 a.m. at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in London, England on NFL Network. Over-under is 35.5. The Vikes come in favored by 3.5.
That is one of the lowest regular season totals I've ever seen. That's a preseason total. That's ridiculous. I'm going to take the Browns defense and Dylan Gabriel to get the cover in this one in mighty London.
Yeah, Vikes definitely look better with Wentz under center. They do need that bounce back after their loss against the Steelers. I think the fact that the Vikes stayed across the ponds, I think may bode a little bit better for them. So I'm going to take the Vikings here to win and cover, although could be a completely different team with Dylan Gabriel under center. Kicking off the 1 p.m. games, we have the Houston Texans at the Baltimore Ravens at M&T Bank Stadium in Baltimore on CBS. Over-under is 40.5. Houston comes in favored by 1.5.
Yeah, this one's all over the place to me. What are the Ravens going to be without Lamar? And obviously they're missing the D tackle for the season now, which is a big loss. 2 bad losses in a row for the Ravens. Could the Ravens really be, 1-4? 4? Jesus. Yeah, give me the Texans. I'll roll with them. It's Cooper Rush, right? I don't think I can go with Cooper Rush in this instance. So I'll take the Texans.
I love me some Cooper Rush being a Cowboys fan, but yeah, I'm kind of with you, man. The Ravens are beat up on defense. They're probably not going to be without Lamar. I mean, Derrick Henry's having some fumble problems this year. I don't know what's going on in Baltimore, but it's not what I expected. I think Woody Marks might be the answer for the Texans. Joe Mixon doesn't sound like he's coming back anytime soon. So if Woody Marks can do what he did in the last game, he might take over the one spot from Chubb. But I'm with you. I'm going to take the Texans here to step in and cover. The 1.5. Next up, we have the New York Giants at the New Orleans Saints Sunday at 1 p.m. at Caesars Superdome on CBS. Over under is 41.5. Jake, the New Orleans Saints come into this game favored by 1.5. Don't fall over.
I can't believe that this team is favored in any game ever. I'll take. I know the neighbor's injuries there, but I'll take Dart. This is, like I said earlier, I think this is the last game that really they're going to be competitive in for a while because their schedule gets really tough. I do like the Giants to go to New Orleans and win.
Yep, I'm with you. I am taking the Giants and the points here. Next up, we have the Miami Dolphins at the Carolina Panthers Sunday at 1 p.m. at Bank of America Stadium on Fox. Over under 44.5. The Dolphins come in favored by 1.5.
Yeah, these are 2 teams I don't trust at all on any side. I'm going to roll with the Panthers at home here.
I'm actually with you. I'm going to roll with the Panthers as well. Dolphins are going to be without Tyreek. They still have some weapons there, but Carolina seems to be playing better at Queen City. Battle of Roll Tide quarterbacks here, but I'm going to take Carolina in the points here. Next up, we have the Las Vegas Raiders at the Indianapolis Colts Sunday at 1 p.m. at the Glue Factory on Fox. Lucas Oil Stadium, 47.5 is the over-under spread. Indy is favored by 6.5.
I feel like this might be too many points. I'm going to take the Raiders to keep it close, but I do think the Colts still win this game.
Yeah, I think this is a bounce back game for the Colts. I think they should have won last week. I think they're going to get back to Indy and clean some things up on the penalties and whatnot. So I am going to take the Colts here to win and cover at home. Next up, we have the Denver Broncos at the Philadelphia Eagles Sunday at 1 p.m. at Lincoln Financial Field on CBS. Over under is 43.5. Philly is favored by 4.5.
Yeah, Philly, their offense, they got 2 great receivers that they don't even really use. I know they're starting to get a little pissed off. I think we might see them a little bit more this week, but Denver's secondary is very good. But 4.5 at home, I think, is still a little too low for Philly. So I'm going to take Philly to win and cover here.
Yep, I'm with you. I do like what Denver's defenses looked like last week. They're starting to tune it up a little bit, but I still think that 4.5 is just not going to be quite enough. They are going to have to lean into the passing game, so we'll see what happens with Saquon versus this Denver rush defense. But I am going to take Philly here at home minus the 4.5 as well. Next up, we have the Dallas Cowboys at the New York Jets Sunday at 1 p.m. at MetLife Stadium on Fox. Over under 47.5. Cowboys come in favored by 2.5.
I'm not going to pick the Cowboys to beat one of my Lions guys. So Ben Johnson already took out his will on them earlier. Our time is coming here in a few weeks where we get to do it. And I think it's Aaron Glenn's time this week at home. So I'm going to be on the Jets to win this outright.
I'm not surprised in the least that you're going to do that, but Cowboys hitting the road after a grind of a game against Green Bay. Defense has looked rough, but Dallas has the best offense in the league right now, and the defense of the Jets has not looked that good. So I am going to take the Cowboys in to win and cover in East Rutherford. Right. Our afternoon games, or I should say late afternoon games, start off with the Tennessee Titans at the Arizona Cardinals Sunday, 4:05 p.m. Eastern at State Farm Stadium on CBS. Over under is 41.5. The Cardinals come in favored by 8.5.
That seems like so many points for the Cardinals. Tennessee, I feel like, I don't know, they're so much better than what they play. I'll take Arizona in this one. I think it's too many points, though. But
yeah, it's a lot, but not an exciting game here. I'm going to take Arizona to win and cover at home. I do think earlier we talked about it, but I think Callahan's seat is starting to get a little bit hot there in Nashville. So we'll see how that rolls out here over the course of the next couple weeks. Next up, we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the Seattle Seahawks Sunday, 4:05 p.m. Eastern at Lumen Field in Seattle on CBS. Over under 44.5. Seattle comes in favored by 3.
Interesting. It's gonna be a tough game for Tampa, I think, going on the road. I wish it was a half there. With it being 3, I'm gonna take Seattle because I think that this might be a push. So I'll take Seattle here.
Okay, yeah, I think what's going to be Tampa's defense against this Seahawks run game is really what's going to help open up some opportunities for Darnold. If that doesn't happen, then I think Tampa wins this one. I think this is going to end up close, so I'm going to take the points here in Tampa. Next up, we have the Washington Commanders at the Los Angeles Chargers Sunday, 4:25 p.m. at SoFi Stadium on Fox. Over under is 48.5. The Chargers are favored by 2.5.
Yeah, Chargers, obviously, we're going to have to see what they look like with the Alt injury, but I think they're going to go home and rebound. I do like them to win and cover in this one.
I'm with you. I think the Chargers are going to bounce back here as well and win and cover at home. Next up, we have Jake's Detroit Lions at the Cincinnati Bengals Sunday, 4:25 p.m. at Paycor Stadium in Cincinnati on Fox. Over under 48.5. Detroit comes in favored by 10.5.
Yeah, unfortunately, we suffered some pretty significant injuries in our secondary. We were down to our third and fourth corners last week. I think Terrion Arnold is going to play this week. Reed's going to be out. But against this Chase and Higgins, it's one thing that scares me a little bit in this one, but I think our offense is way too good for that defense regardless. So I think it might end up being higher scoring. The over is probably a good bet in this one, but I'll take the Lions minus 10.5.
Yeah, I think the Fighting Dan Campbells are going to end up getting this one done. I know you guys are dealing with some injuries in the secondary, but Higgins and Chase don't have a quarterback to throw to them right now. And there's too many problems in Cincinnati on both sides of the ball. So I'm going to go Detroit here as well. All right, Sunday night matchup, New England Patriots at the Buffalo Bills in an AFC East showdown. Sunday, 8:20 p.m. at Highmark Stadium on NBC. 49.5 is the over-under. The Bills come in favored by 8.5.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Patriots to cover here. I think Buffalo's going to win the game. They're doing their version of the wide out this week, and we know how that went for Penn State, so we might see the same result for Buffalo, but I do like Buffalo to get the win. I just don't think they're going to cover this.
I'm with you 100%. I think Buffalo gets the win here. I do not think they cover 8.5. It's a little bit too salty. Patriots defense has looked better as the weeks progress. So I'm going to take the 8.5 and the points. Our Monday night showdown is the Kansas City Chiefs at the Jacksonville Jaguars Monday, 8:15 p.m. at Everbank Stadium in Jacksonville on ABC and ESPN. Over under is 46.5. KC comes in favored by 3.
Do you know what happens on Friday?
That's a very vague question, so I'm going to go no.
Friday is the release of Taylor Swift's new album.
Oh, I did not know that. So yeah, I never would have guessed that.
To cap off what's going to be a great weekend for them. Coming off a big win last week against Baltimore, they're going to go on the road and win and cover and continue getting a little bit better as the season goes on, and a huge weekend for the Kelsey Swift Chiefs family.
All right. I don't know what to say to that other than I do think Kansas City wins and covers this game. So we'll just keep it at that. I think KC's offense looked pretty good last week, and I think they're going to score some points against this Jacksonville team that has had some takeaways, but I think Pat Mahomes is going to be able to protect the ball enough to get the win. We've got teams on bye weeks this week. It's the first week of the season. We have the Falcons, Bears, Packers, and Steelers are all on bye. Let's move into our locks of the week. Jake, what is your lock?
Anytime I get to say that our offense is going against a shitty defense, I love it. Like I said, I think the over is in play in this one. I really, really like the Lions to go to Cincinnati and get a huge road win here.
Jake locks in on the Lions for the second week in a row. I am following suit. I am also going to lock in -10.5 the Lions over the Bengals. Jake, let's hear it. Who's your dog of the week?
Like we mentioned earlier, the Saints are a favorite this week. I will take Jackson Dart and the New York Giants.
All right. Giants coming in +104, traveling to New Orleans. Jake's got the Giants. I am going to go with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers +150 at Seattle. I think they're just going to be able to keep it close enough. All right, guys, that is it for us. Week 5 picks. We are rolling right along here. As always, please like, share, subscribe. If you didn't get a chance to watch us live, please check out both NFL show here as well as the college episode. College is running into week 6. Feels like the season is flying by for both of these. But that is it for us. We'll be back with you guys next week for the fine citizen, Mr. Jacob Workman. This is Reese Downing, TNT Tuesday Night Touchdown Podcast, NFL edition. We will see you guys next week.
See you, everyone.